one of my Shiros is here, and she's joining CultureCon for the very first time. Please give a round of applause to the Grammy-winning artist, entrepreneur, and cultural icon, Ciara!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Jazzy Fizzle production. Miss the princess is here. Ciara.
This beat is automatic, supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh. With my body so melodic, this beat rolls right through my chest. Everybody, Martin, Poppy came to party. Grab somebody, work your body, work your body. Let me see you.
Oh my goodness.
Ciara, I thought you were gonna do the low challenge and I was gonna sit right down.
Oh my goodness, listen, if you would have tried, I would have had your back. Cece would have had your back.
She would.
Yes, but that was so sweet of you guys. Thanks for all that love. Thank you so much.
Y'all, I mean, so stunning. Ciara, so we're both Atlanta princesses, and I have a very hard-hitting question for you.
Okay.
Drums or flats?
Flats.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Easy.
but can I tell you, Imani, the funniest thing is, being from the South, no matter where I am, I always say flats. And then I start learning around the world, they say wings. And I'm like, no, it's flats. Right? Y'all agree, it's flats, right?
It's flats.
Yeah, it's not wings, it's flats.
Is that a Southern thing, you think?
It's a Southern thing.
Okay.
Because I've literally had crazy, like back and forth. Even Russ has gotten involved in this argument. He's from Virginia, so he's close to the South too, you know. And he's like, no, it's wings. I'm like, no, babe, it's flats.
It's flats.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Blue cheese or ranch?
So the blue cheese or ranch? Ooh, it depends on the day.
Yeah, same.
I like both.
Same. I can't choose.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't do that between both of them, but it depends on the day.
Okay, one more because I know you love a hot honey, but have you tried a hot honey lemon pepper fried?
Oh, hot honey lemon pepper fry?
Yes.
Wing?
Wing.
Now, I like them lemon peppers, but I ain't had no hot honey lemon pepper fried, though.
Well, we've got to coordinate
I gotta try that one next.
It's so good. Congratulations on your recent album. Amazing. My favorite song is Love.
Yay, thank
So
you.
good. Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites, too. Thank you so much.
I mean, when we think about your music career expanding over 2 decades, you really have been able to evolve and reinvent and be so honest with your journey. But I want to really today focus on your entrepreneurial journey because I think one of the things I really admire about you is that you don't allow yourself to be put in a box. And so just when we think, okay, it's another smash hit, then we're also talking about all of the other things that you're working on. And so back in 2017, you launched your own company. And I really want to talk about the mindset you were in then, because I think the important thing about Beauty Marks Entertainment is it encompasses all of your projects, your personality, your passions. So what inspired you to kind of go out on your own and become an entrepreneur?
2017 was a really big year for me because that was when I really embarked on my journey of ownership. And the one thing that I've learned over my career is that you're truly empowered fully when you have ownership, participation in what you do. And I was really tired of doing the traditional way where you do a standard traditional recording deal. And let me tell you, those deals are not really designed the best for us in most cases. And so I was exhausted with that process, and I was really ready to take a big leap of faith. But I always bet on myself, so it wasn't anything new for me betting on myself. But this time, I was setting myself up to be able to really benefit from me betting on myself and taking risks versus what I was doing before. And I remember I actually looked at my phone. I have my little CC folder, and I found the photo. It was September 22nd, 2017 was a day that this gentleman who was running the label, he was a new CEO at the time. He had just come in at the label I was signed to, and there was a rotating of CEOs. So I was tired of like having to meet a new person, meet another new person, present my idea to them and hope they were gonna like it. So 2017 was my final meeting with the recording label, the traditional label, and that was a day that the meeting was probably like one of the most disappointing meetings that I had ever had because he decided that he didn't see the vision in what I was trying to work on. But it was one of the best days of my life because I literally said, the next day, I'm gonna go do this on my own. I started Beauty Marks Entertainment. Level Up was the first song that I launched. And now, fast forward to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're now almost 4 times platinum at Level Up to this day.
Come on.
And it's the song that keeps on giving, but it was really a song that, really encompassed my journey as a woman, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a person, just trying to do my best and level up in every way of my life. So September 22nd, 2017, that picture I have, I will forever hold on to, but that day was the day that CC leveled up, and I'll never look back.
Come on, CC. And I think to your point, when you look back, it makes so much sense. You're glad that you did it. But we have so many creatives and entrepreneurs in the room who maybe are right at that, junction point where they don't know if they can take a risk on themselves. And so what mindset did you have to say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it?
I always say that when you believe in yourself is the moment opportunity begins for you. All it takes is one person to believe, and that person is you. Commit. Don't be afraid. Know that it's going to feel really vulnerable out there when you're taking a risk and betting on yourself, but it's the best way, honestly. I would also say write your goals out. I think people underestimate the power of manifestation and writing things down on a paper. That is a story of my life. Like, I kid you guys not. Since I was a little girl, 14 years old, the first thing I did before I became an artist, and some people may have heard me tell this story before, but I had a goal sheet. Okay, and on my goal sheet, I wrote down 3 goals. I was literally almost 14 years old at this point. And I said my first goal was to get discovered. And I wrote down how I was gonna get discovered. So I was like, I'm gonna sign myself for talent shows and all this stuff. And I'll tell you about that. Okay, I'll get to that. Second goal was once I got discovered, I wanted to sell 3 to 4 million albums. Then my third goal was to have longevity. No lie, 2 weeks later after I wrote it down on the paper, I got asked to audition for a group. Crazy, right? My friend knew what I wanted. I talked about it at a lunch table. I was like, I want to go and be a singer. And I was running track in school. I was fast. I was leaving a couple people in the dust, but I wasn't breaking no records, okay? So I was like, that's not going to be my job. I was a cheerleader. I loved doing that, but that wasn't going to be what I was going to do, but I knew I could sing. So my friends remember us talking about it at a lunch table. So literally 2 weeks later, after I wrote down my goals, I went home and was like, I'm going to write down my goals, write it out, make it plain. It says in the Bible, Habakkuk 2:2. Write it down, make it plain. Wrote it down. 2 weeks later, got asked to audition. Y'all, I sounded such a hot mess on the phone. I was like shaking, voice cracking, but they still wanted to see me, okay? So I get to the house of this group at the time, audition again, I make the girls group. I was like the 4th rotating member of this group, okay? There was this one person that kept replacing, and I was like the 4th person in that journey. But anyways, auditioned, made the group. That clearly didn't work out, but I stayed focused on my journey. Literally at 15 years old, I signed my first administration deal, right? Because I pursued my solo career when we weren't working out as a group. And then 16 years old, I signed my first contract with Artistry Records, okay? So that was my dream label. So now first goal on the list, right, I checked it off, okay? Second goal was once I got discovered, I wanted to sell 3 to 4 million albums. Fast forward to that moment, I launched Goodies, and now it's at like 5 or so or something like that, right? So that was another check off the list. And the third goal was longevity. So now I sit here talking to you guys 21 years later since I put out the Goodies album. Okay?
Yes.
And I tell you all, I still write my stuff down. I still sometimes have doubt. I still sometimes worry. I still am sometimes afraid. I'm still sometimes all of the things that I know every person in this room can identify with, but most importantly, I'm going to still believe. I'm going to keep my faith. I'm going to keep betting on myself, and I'm going to keep writing my dreams down. I'm telling you guys, there is power. You see the vision of what you want to do. Envision it. Dream as big as you want to dream. Do not limit your dream, okay? Write it down, write it down, write it down. You start to cement what your vision is, and then you start to put your actions into place, and I promise you guys, 1 + 1 will equal 3. And if for some reason it doesn't math that way, it's not meant to be. So I also had to learn to accept that on my journey too, right? Like sometimes you want what you want, when you want it, how you want it, and sometimes it's just not meant to be. Like we say, someone's rejection is God's redirection. Sometimes that's the journey too, right? So just like trust the process, write it down, speak life into it. Manifestation is really real.
Yes, and I love what you said about I still am afraid, because I think a lot of times people think I'm gonna wait until I'm not afraid and then I'll do the thing. But I saw this thing online that said ready is a decision, not a feeling. And I love that because for people to hear you say, I often am afraid, but I still do it anyway, I think can free people to think you don't have to wait for this perfect feeling. You just have to start.
Sometimes when you have those feelings, that's when you know something good is going to happen. You know, I'll be like backstage, like, all right, we're going to go. We're going to do this. You know, I hype myself up now. I'm going to hype myself up. I'm going to prep talk myself. But yeah, sometimes when you have those nerves, that kind of like butterfly-like feeling or like, you know, it's all a part of it. You know, so just know that when you're going through that's also supposed to happen sometimes too, you know?
It's so true. And, you know, being a creative and also being in business, sometimes I think, you know, we're really focused on the marketing and the look and the feel and the social campaigns, and the P&L and the business and the operations can just feel so overwhelming. So how do you balance the business side and the creativity side?
It's two different brains, okay? Creative brain runs really wild. Business brain be like, okay, hold up. Do the budget work for that, you know? So I had to learn that balance, you know, because that is important, right? It's important that when you're trying to run a successful business, your P&L sheets are really important. And I learned that the hard way, especially when you're taking big risk. Sometimes you think about that last. And then you're like, shoot, I'm out here busting my butt. I'm grinding out here. I'm tired. And now how much we make? You're like, wait a minute now. Okay, wait. Math ain't mathing all the way. Let me adjust a little bit here. So it pushes you in your creativity because, like for me, I grew up in the era where we made videos that were like, you know, a couple of $100,000 to $1 million all the time. And that changed. The business has changed drastically, so you have to adjust. I think that's my greatest thing is knowing how to adjust. And I have to check myself, right? Like, and I have learned, kid you guys not, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly before, Level Up was my cheapest dance video I've shot to date. Perspective, right? Because nowadays, like those bodies and all that stuff, it all adds up, right? I got my butt on a plane to New Zealand. I had the most scaled down crew because remember, I was entering my independent journey. Okay, this was different for me. I'm used to rolling with the big old entourage. I rolled with just like 4 of us, okay? Met with Paris Goebel. At that time, she was also still building. Got to New Zealand, ready, like learned the routine overnight, like 10 hours to learn that routine, no lie. Y'all, it was really guerrilla, okay? Plane to the rehearsal hall, okay? Then to the video shoot a few hours later, and then back on the plane, okay? We weren't staying in the hotels long because that starts to add up too, but I was really mindful, but I was so hungry. I've always been so hungry, so I'm so grateful for my journey. Because there's this saying that where you come from in life, or I say this, where you come from in life, it will not determine how far you'll go. I did not have much, but I had a big dream. And that little CC came out of me when I had to enter my independent chapter. And I was like, we're going to do this. Learned that I was studying the video on my phone before I took off on the plane for Level Up. Like, I think this is a hit. Like, this dancing is great. I was so excited, got there and learned it, and then fast forward to all the amazing success, however many billions of streams and everything later. But that mentality was important, right? Like I had to go guerrilla. I can never lose the hustler mentality. I don't care how big I am, how much success we have. To me, you always have to have that mentality. And be mindful of your P&L sheets because they matter as owners, especially as, you know, I would say for people that look like me, a lot of us in this room, you know, that this part is important as we're growing and understanding how to build businesses and do it the right way, right? You know, it's important to think about that part too. Don't forget the P&L sheet in the process, okay? But challenge yourself to be creative because you can really make a lot out of a little.
Absolutely. I love stretching it. They say the most creativity comes when you're strapped for resources.
You know what I say? I say you got to make it all make sense. CENTS. Make it make sense, okay?
Yes. You know, I think that, you know, being an entrepreneur teaches you so much about yourself. It's like a mirror to what you need to work on, how you like navigate the world. What has being an entrepreneur taught you about yourself?
Being an entrepreneur has taught me that I can do anything I put my mind to. It's not going to be easy, you know, but again, it goes back to the key things I said to you all, believing. You got to keep believing in yourself. Every day is not going to be perfect. There's probably a lot more challenging days than the beautiful ones, but man, they're so worth it. And I always love preaching this story. There's a saying that when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So if I can encourage everyone in this room to do one thing, is to make sure whatever you're choosing to wake up and do and spend countless of hours of investing your time and your resources into, make sure you love it. And I've learned that my passion and love for all that I do is my reason why I find the drive. When I'm told multiple times no, right? Making phone calls for investors, it is exhausting. Like I'd be like, I'm so over this, because sometimes you got to talk to like 50 people to get the one person to invest. That's exhausting. But the passion is what allows me to keep going. And to be honest, that fire fuels me because I want to be to a place where I don't really have to ask too much of anybody, but that you use those things as motivation, So being an entrepreneur has just taught me this is the way to go. Ownership is everything if you can do it. Teamwork is everything. There's no I in team. I am only as strong as my team is. And I feel so blessed to be in a place where I can develop the team how I want to do it, right? When I was in the labels, traditional label systems before, I had to kind of follow what they put in front of me. And I was blessed with some great people along the way. But now I get to build it from the ground up how I want to. So your team is really important. And I was talking about this morning. Everyone on your team should have the same passion you have. There's nothing worse than you being really passionate, and then some people kind of have like 80% amount of the passion that you have. That's where you fail, or that's where you don't set yourself for the best success. So for me, that equal passion around the team is really important.
And I love that you talk about team, because I think that jump between solopreneur to delegating and scale and hiring people, it's a big jump. And so how would you describe your leadership style? What does that look like?
I need to ask my team. I'd like to say, I like to be a good listener. I think that some of the best leaders know when to lead, but they also know when to follow. And sometimes I don't like the truth, but I do like it though, because I need the truth. So I like to open up the room to be a safe place. Not everybody should be telling you, things, and if they are, they got to be the right people. But yeah, there's a couple of things I think about. I would say though, I think I do okay as a leader. I think I do.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you are doing more than okay. What are some of those first roles you would really advise people surround themselves with as they're growing their company?
Well, you got to make sure you have the best way to organize how you're counting them coins. Okay? Yep. You can get an accountant. I would encourage you to have that person. A good lawyer is important. You got to have someone that can be on a job for you and represent and fight for you and fight with you. That's important. You got to have a good PR team. Shout out to my team, Jones Work in the building. She's a legend, by the way, Steph Jones, and the whole squad. But seriously, you got to have a good PR team that knows how to help you push. So the thing for me is, I don't want to tell you all the traditional ways to do things, because I also am self-managed, okay? So I don't know what it is, guys, and I'm not saying I would never have a manager again, but for some reason, when I kept trying the most notable managers in the world to help manage my career, it did not work. It's so weird. It just would not work for me. And so it really inspired me just to keep figuring it out along the way. So I wouldn't say you have to have a traditional management structure. Good agents are important. I got to shout out my William Morris team. We got a good power team going on with all of us. So for me, I just found a unique way that worked for me. That's what I would encourage you guys to do. I don't want to tell you to follow a specific structure, because my structure may not be the best for you, and vice versa. But most importantly is picking the team that is fit for you. I got to shout out a girl named Dimples Ajoma as well. She's also an incredible team player in my squad. And we just put our heads together. A guy named Marcus Grant, we put our heads together. I just literally went in and picked out, I looked at my world and what my world needed, and then I went to source out those people that would help feed me what I needed, right? So that's all I would say to do. Everyone's team should be structured for them. Do what you think is best for you, but definitely know how to count those coins, and definitely have a good lawyer. I can tell you that. Big facts.
Big facts.
And good PR team.
And good PR. And I love that, because some foundational pieces of business you can't compromise on. But in terms of other pieces, when you think about creativity and the journey, there isn't like a cookie cutter way to do it.
sorry, I gotta also shout out this girl named Jamaica Crabs. For those of you that have followed my videos over the year, I met this girl when I was almost 14 years old. She was a choreographer, and then she turned into like my creative director. But she's been with me a whole long. I just have to shout because I'm saying team names, and I don't like leaving out my team members. And also my makeup artist Yolanda Frederick Thompson. I met her when I was just 14 years old, 16 years old on set. She's been in my career since. She's almost 26 years deep with me. Jamaica's 26 years deep. So consistency, right? If it works for you, don't leave it, and don't let it leave you. Love your team that loves you back, okay? I just want to say that. So yeah, I'm proud of that.
No,
okay?
I love it, and you gotta call them out by name. It really does take a team. Now, Ciara, I know everyone has asked you about your prayer. Right, we have, we're curious, and you were generous enough to give us the prayer.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, with Summer Walker.
I kind of gave you some of what I prayed.
Kind of. But there was a lyric, and I really want to dig in there because it said, I'm hurting, but there's a purpose to my pain. And I think I loved that piece because I think a lot of times we think about suffering as, I want to get rid of this. But I want to talk about, pain that is propelling you forward, that's like refining you, and kind of what that looks like for you in your journey.
My gosh, I mean, I think when we go into our lowest places, it's preparing us for when we're going to climb the highest mountain and reach the highest point. Down on the bottom, there's a lot of good stuff down there. If you could just, in the Bible it says, be still and know that I am God, right? Got to be still sometimes when you're in the lowest valley. And you don't know it when you're going through it, but those moments are going to be the moments that shape you. They're going to prepare you for when you have to go off and start a new business, and maybe they're going to prepare you for like more than you know, relationship-wise. Like, remember these cries now. When you have these moments, remember them, right? Because you also know where you don't want to go back again, right? In work, personal, whatever it is. But the valley is where a lot of the good happens. That's where we get like a lot of, for me, my grit. Because one thing I will tell you, I have committed to, I will never give up. I will never quit. When I'm committed to something, that is what I have committed to. I will never, so you have to remember those moments, like they feel ugly when you're going through. That's why I call my company Beauty Marks Entertainment. I said, all the scars you get from the obstacles you face in life are your beauty marks. So I was able to look at my life and be like, gosh, God, I'm grateful for my successes, but I'm also grateful for my failures. Because those moments are what made me. Those moments are what shaped me. Those moments help me to speak to people like you all, to share my journey and let you know it's not going to be pretty along the way. When you have these big dreams and this big vision of this pretty like thing that you envision, you don't think about the ugly part that happens along, but you got to have some of that because it makes you appreciate it. It helps you to develop character. It gives you integrity. It helps me to tell my daughters when I got to talk to them and look at my kids and tell them like, you're going to be okay. Like, I can almost cry thinking about that. Like, I remember talking to my son, my eldest, Future, and, he's reaching this age where it gets, like, really real. The emotions start to feel different. They're in 6th grade. They start hearing stuff in the school. You're like, what's happening in them school streets? Let me know, because I need to know what y'all be talking about, But I looked at him because, it's a very, and my kids also just moved to New York. It's like a whole culture shift, right? But I looked at him, he's talking about something with basketball, and I won't get too deep into it. But I said, like, baby, these moments are going to make you. Like, everyone's not going to serve you life how you want it. More oftentimes than not, they're going to serve it to you how you don't want it. But these moments are going to make you. We're going to take these moments and make the best of them. Allow them to feed us, like, appreciate, like, So in my mind, going back to your question, when you're in those lows, you know what? The lows are more beneficial than you know, and you always know when you come out of it. I say the why cry. I've had a couple of why cries. Why, Jesus? What's going on, Lord? I don't understand. I've had a lot of those.
Yes.
I had those moments where, man, like, God is like, trust me, I got you. This moment is meant. It's supposed to happen, and there's going to be something good along the way. So if I can say to you guys, when you're going through those low moments, those tough moments, keep your faith. Double down on your faith. That is time to double down on your faith. But just know, I swear to you guys, my life, every time I felt like, my breakthrough was on the other side. Just that one moment you think it's about to really go for you left, it's gonna go so right. So do not give up. Keep your faith. Someone needs to hear this. Keep your faith. Keep believing in what you know is true, your truth. Keep believing in it. Keep fighting for it. Keep stepping through it. I promise you guys, it's going to make sense in the end. I promise you.
Yes, please. Because I do think, again, when you think about when you're in the moment, it's like, ooh, I don't want to hear keep going. Lord have mercy. It's like, they call it the dark night of the soul. Have you heard this?
I have never heard that.
There's a name for the darkest part of the valley, and it's called the dark night of the soul. And you come out on the other side
always
stronger,
come on the other side, stronger
braver,
and better.
And better. Ciara, I want to...
You level up.
You got... you level up. Yes, absolutely. I just love that about you, especially because the private transformation that you experience, you're always so public about that. And I think that's really refreshing for people that are in different seasons of their life. I want to pivot, though, because we want to talk about 10 to 1 rum.
Yay!
Oh, my goodness.
The watermelon daiquiri is in the house.
Yes, but now
Let
what
me
is
take a
in
sip
this?
real quick.
I know, wait, where's mine, Ciara?
We didn't bring one for you. We tripping. We'll have one for you right after, okay? This is so good. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, what have you learned entering the spirits industry? How has the experience been?
Oh, it's been incredible. I have to start out by shouting my partner, Mark Farrell. He was the youngest vice president at Starbucks, and he went off to get 10 to 1 going, and Howard Schultz became our first investor. And I met him in the thick of the pandemic. I was pregnant as all get out, but also had been breastfeeding for long enough. It was time for me to celebrate and take a toast. So the first time I had a drink was with 10 to 1 white rum. I had it in the form of a mojito, and it was love at first sip. And just so you guys know my history with rum, the first time I ever had a drink in my life, 21, I did the traditional age date. I had my first drink, and it was rum. So I'd always been a rum lover, and I love that in this category, it's not crazy saturated with, quote-unquote celebs, It's an opportunity for growth. It's a great challenge now because rum is like, it's kind of one of those things where the story is still being told, and people are understanding how much fun you can have with rum. But we do proudly say it's the fastest growing and most awarded rum. There's no added sugars in this rum.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The fastest growing, most awarded rum.
Yeah.
Y'all,
yeah.
what do you not do, Ciara?
You're so sweet.
Come on.
We tell other spirits, anything you can do, rum can do better.
Come
okay?
on.
Rum things, I be in my Trini bag sometimes, What's the scene, eh? But no, seriously, I got to go to Carnival, and it was so much fun. But honestly, I've always been a rum lover. It's genuinely something I'm passionate about. Really great challenge, getting people to reimagine rum. We want you to look at rum beyond pina coladas and strawberry daiquiris, which you can put it in there, but rum can play. I like to make my rum-aritas. Put the white rum in your margarita and thank me later, okay?
I will.
But yeah, you can have a lot of fun. Like I put in the mojito. You can replace a lot of your traditional spirits and have a lot of fun with this rum. So just really proud of who we are, proud of where we're going, excited for the challenge, and 10 to 1 rum, TTO.
Come on, TTM. And you just recently moved to New York.
Yes.
Welcome to the Best Coast.
What up? New York, what up?
It's
New
cute.
York, what up?
How are you enjoying the city? Do you love it?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
New York is a vibe. The people here just have so much culture and sass and style and creativity, and there's a lot of passion on the streets of New York. I'm gonna tell you, they say it's a city that never sleeps. It really don't. Try shooting a creative video or a drop outside. You can forget about it, because I'm telling you, it's literally somebody's on the street, yo, mom, so. Then the police, woo! It's like so much be going on in the streets of New York. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to shoot this video. Everybody chill out, That's how you feel. And driving in these streets, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. First of all, Russ actually drives really good in these streets. I will say that.
Really?
I love when he drives me. I mean, riding in these streets. I'm about to start driving in these streets, and I'll be studying. I'll be like, okay, right. You gotta cross them. You gotta drive differently in New York, okay?
Confidence.
It's a lot. But I also would say the food in New York. They say you'll never eat enough food in your lifetime being here. I love my date nights in New York. I love taking my kids to the parks and the playgrounds. I just love all the life that New York gives. It's been so much fun being here. It's been a blessing to our family, so I love New York.
We love having you. If you could give one piece of advice to a creative who is just starting on betting on themselves, just starting on deciding if they want to go for it, what would it be?
Man, don't be afraid. Take that leap of faith. Just know it's going to be a journey definitely cut out in front of you. But if you know that, then you're ready for it. Take that faith. Believe in yourself. Just remember, all it takes is one person to believe, and that person is you. The moment you start believing is when your opportunity begins. And it starts and ends with you. Have a vision. What is your vision for where you want to get to? I always say you can't get to where you want to get to in life without a compass. What is your compass? Who's going to be with you along the way? That's important. If people bring you negativity, cut it now. Cut it. You need to cut it, okay? I'm telling you, because them prices get way too high. See how I did that? Yeah, see how I did that? It get way
They
too high. You
appreciated
need to
it. They
cut
saw it.
No, but cut that negativity out. Positive vibes only. Have your vision. Y'all write it down. I know it may sound so simple, but just take a moment in your own peace and write down what you envision for yourself. Some people do like the boards, the storyboards and all that. If that's what you want to do too, it's the same kind of thing. But manifestation is important. So write your vision down, cement it, believe in it. Don't waver. Don't be like waves in the sea. The world is like waves in the sea. They say if you live by the cheers, you die by the booze. So don't worry about what anybody else has to say, right? Just know your vision for yourself. Keep believing in it. Trust in your vision. And take that leap of faith. Take it, and don't look back.
Don't look back.
Don't look back. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I could talk to you all day. I want to also shout out Chase Inc. for presenting this conversation. And Ciara, we want to actually award you. You are so iconic that we'd love to present you with the CultureCon Cultural Icon Award for 2 decades of being a star. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
This is so nice. Let's take a picture.
Introducing, guess who? Ciara!